What tools you're going to need. First of all, the kit involves one battery pack, one thermal sensor. You want to get a small amount of shrink wrap tubing, a small amount of flux, a paintbrush to apply the flux, a Torx T10 screwdriver, a flat bladed screwdriver, a flat piece of strong metal, and a small tapping hammer. These are the tools required. Move the tools out of the way. First job, get your thermal sensor. Put it in some heat shrink tubing. And place that to one side. Next thing you do, Torx T10 screwdriver and your old battery. Here's T10. I've already loosened them off to save time, but it just comes off at the end. Sometimes this can get stuck in, so you use a flat bladed screwdriver just to gently prise it at each side. And then it should just pull out. These old cells that are of no use, so they can be disposed of. Next you need a flat bladed screwdriver, small one like this, or a larger one, really doesn't matter on the size. Gently prise this old one off. That's loose. This one, same again. Try not to short it, or you'll get little bits of puffs of smoke like that. If it gets stuck, use a small pair of pliers. Wiggle it off. That's what you should end up with. Put that to one side. These are of no use and can be disposed of. Next you need to replace the thermal sensor, which is that piece. Quite simple. Just get a pair of pliers. Snip the old one off at both ends. Throw that away. This is where the flat hammered surface comes in. You place it on the anvil or lump hammer as I'm using and just tap gently a few times, and that smooths that out perfectly. Do it again for the other side. There we go, perfect. You might want to get these as clean as you possibly can for the job, so that they'll solder on properly. So what you do, if you've got one, use something like this, an old Dremel type tool, and simply that's ready. This one, clean there, clean there, clean the underside. This piece, simple clearing there. Tear that off. This is perfectly safe, look. You want a diamond disc. They're quite safe then. I wouldn't recommend doing what I did there. There we go. Next, get your tiny bit of solder, tiny bit on there, flux I mean, not solder, a tiny bit on there, some standard solder wire, put that on there. There we go. And again on the surface. Yeah, that's done. Slot it back into place. Gently bend this in half. Slot that into place. This into place. A small amount of flux, barely enough to mark it. That's done. Next you get your battery pack that came. If you don't want to use these can simply come off. They just pull them off. Get yourself your electrical contacts. Squeeze that into place so it's even. Place it into place. Oop, a little bit more. Hold this for a few seconds. Perfect. Hold this for a few seconds. Perfect. Use a cloth to wipe off any excess flux. Move the pieces out of the way. Get your battery pack. Get elastic bands off. If you've bought it, you put the foam insulation in, the battery pack in tied, that back on there, push it together, and use your T10 screwdriver. That takes too long for me, so I've got one on here. Perfect. One battery now in perfect working order. And there we go. It's a bit difficult to see what. That's without charging. Job's a good one. You might want to give this a bit of a clean there, so